ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lágbára. والأرض ومن فيهن إلا يسبح بحمده ولكن لا تفقهون تسبيحهم.
الأمر الثاني مما رغبت أن أشير إليه صباح هذا اليوم أن أذكر أستاذا لي فاضلا انتفعت به نفعا عظيما في شهر رمضان. والعجيب في هذا الأستاذ وأنا لا يكاد يمر شهر رمضان إلا وأتذكر هذا الأستاذ، وانتفعت به نفعا عظيما، والكلام هذا له يعني قرابة 40 سنة أو أكثر. العجيب في أمر هذا الأستاذ أنني ما رأيته في حياتي إلا مرة واحدة، وأيضا لم يكن بيني وبين حديث، لم يحدثني ولم أحدثه، ولم يقع بيننا حتى السلام، لكنني والله أعده من أساتذتي ودائما أذكره وأدعو له. هو رجل من أندونيسيا، جاء معتمرا في رمضان قبل قرابة 40 سنة، حفظه الله إن كان حيا وغفر له إن كان ميتا ورحمه وجزاه خيرا. صلى أمامي ليلة في هذا المسجد، مسجد النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام، صلاة التهجد في العشر الأواخر، ونحن الآن نستقبل العشر الأواخر، قرب دخولها. صلى أمامي ليلة مباشرة، أمامي مباشرة، صلى أمامي ليلة وهو رجل مبتور الرجل اليسرى من عند الركبة، مبتورة رجله، وجاء بعكازين، وصلى أمامي التهجد كاملا على رجل واحدة بدون عكازين، يركع ويسجد وقائم برجل واحدة، وأنا أمامي أراه، وأنا شاب أنظر شيء عجيب في حال هذا الرجل. وكانت في ذاك الوقت صلاة التهجد في الليلة الواحدة يقرؤون 3 أجزاء ونصف، التسليمة الأولى جزء كامل، والتسليمة الثانية جزء كامل، والثالثة نصف جزء، والرابعة نصف جزء، والخامسة نصف جزء، ويختمون في العشر الأواخر ختمة مستقلة. هذه 3 الأجزاء والنصف في تلك الليلة قام هذاك الرجل كاملة من أولها إلى آخرها على رجل واحدة بدون عكازين. فكنت أنظر إليه، والدرس الذي تعلمته منه في ذاك الوقت ولا أزال مستفيدا منه أن الإعاقة ليست في البدن، وإنما الإعاقة في القلب. لأنني أخذت أتفكر، قلت الآن في أناس أقوياء وأجسامهم قوية وعندهم مشكلة مع صلاة الفريضة، ليست النافلة، عندهم مشكلة مع صلاة الفريضة بسبب الإعاقة التي في قلوبهم. وهذا الآن رجل رجله مبتورة ولم يعقه فقد طرف كامل يقوم عليه الإنسان، لم يعقه ذلك.
Lọ sọ̀rọ̀ 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 sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó máa sọ. Mi ò sọ ọ̀rọ̀ kan. بدأت ببسم الله في النظم أولا تبارك الرحمن الرحيم وموئلا فثنيت صلى الله ربي على الرضا محمد المهدى إلى الناس مرسلا. بدأت ببسم الله في النظم أولا تبارك الرحمن الرحيم وموئلا فثنيت صلى الله ربي على الرضا محمد المهدى إلى الناس مرسلا. بدأت ببسم الله. How are you, brother? How are you? بدأت ببسم الله في النظم أولا تبارك الرحمن الرحيم وموئلا فثنيت صلى الله ربي على الرضا.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. كنت أنتظر ومن أيضا ننتظر الشخص. إن وجدنا شخص واحدة فنبقى حصلنا 4. والله ما كنت أعلم أنكم قد دخلتم منذ متى؟
since
سبحان الله، أنا كنت أظن أننا لا نجد شخص هنا. تمام، إن شاء الله نبدأ. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وبعد. so, لا نفعل إشمام اليوم. اليوم نترك إشمام نرجع إليها. سنبدأ من إمالة إمالة إلى الوقوف ثم ننتهي. Let me see. So I'll present my screen. Now, Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ba'd. There's only one type of imala in hafs and asim. I don't want to go deep in imala itself. You just have one type of imala in hafs and asim, and this imala is referred to as imala tul kubra. This tajud ruling exists. This is a tajud ruling that exists only once in the Quran in the recitation of hafs and asim. So if you're reciting with riwayah of what hafs and asim, it occurs just once, and it's imala tul kubra. We don't have the sugra. In hafs and asim, all we have is what al-imala to al-kubra, and it appears in Surah Hud. But unlike imala, it could be learnt by listening. You know, like we've not done imala, but like if you do imala, you see that in imala, if you listen or you read it from a text, you cannot learn it until what? Until you observe someone perform imala. But in what? And the other someone perform ishmam. You have to see somebody performing it for okay, this is ishmam. But in imala, when you listen to the reciter, you know, oh, he has performed what? He has performed what? Imala. So the imala here is in the raw. Can you see the raw does not have tashkil? Fataka Sodoma is not on it. And then we have this like kind of like diamond-like sign on it. And we have it like that written in the Quran. If I'm to recite it, I'll recite وَقَالَ ارْكَبُوا فِيهَا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ مَجْرَيْهَا وَمُرْسَاهَا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ مَجْرَيْهَا رَيْهَا وَمُرْسَاهَا. So the reha sound is what? Is the imala on it. فَقَالَ ارْكَبُوا فِيهَا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ مَجْرَيْهَا وَمُرْسَاهَا. That's the imala. Inna Rabbi laghafurur rahim. Just once in Hafs and Asim. Now let's go to Wukuf. Stop signs. So we have to like make it clear. So which stop signs do we have? Let's look at the first one. We have mim. Mandatory stop sign. Compulsory stop sign. When it appears after a word, the reciter must momentarily stop and take a breath, because continuing on would alter the obvious meaning of the verse. Like refusal to stop will alter the meaning of the verse. If the reciter continues on from it without stopping, that portion of the recitation must be repeated. So what this meme sign is saying is, whenever you recite, you must stop. And now let's look at an example. إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون والموتى يبعثهم الله. Just imagine you didn't stop and you stopped at والموتى. إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون. Definitely, those that listen, they would respond. والموتى, and the dead. يبعثهم الله. Allah would bring them forth on the day of judgment. So you have already destroyed the meaning by putting wal mauta. But if we were to stop, innama yastajibu alladhina yasma'un, definitely those that are listening, they're going to what? They're going to respond. Stop. Wal mauta yab'athumullah, and the dead, Allah will bring them forth on the day of judgment. That's exactly the meaning of the verse. When you say yastajibu alladhina yasma'una wal mauta, you've made this verb work on alladhina yasma'una and al mauta. So it means those that are listening will respond, and the dead will also respond. That's what you've said by joining it together and not stopping at yasma'un. And then the word will now continue. So it's very wrong. You are meant to stop. Innama yastajibu alladhina yasma'un. This verb belongs to this alladhina yasma'un. Those that will respond, what? Those that are listening, what? They will respond. Wal mauta yab'athumullah. And the dead will be brought forth by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this means what? Compulsory stop. If by any chance you recite and you don't stop on it, you have to come back and correct that error because you've committed a grave error. The qila sound. It's recommended to stop. This recommended stop. Very recommended. When it appears after a word, the reciter is encouraged to momentarily stop and take a breath, because continuing on could complicate the meaning and understanding of the verse. When you recite and you continue on a killer verse, and when you find a killer sound, it might complicate the meaning of the verse. So it's totally advisable that when you see the killer sign, you stop. Like very, very, very recommended that you stop. قل ربي أعلم بعدتهم ما يعلمهم إلا قليل فلا تمار فيهم يعلمهم إلا قليل. Stop. فلا تمار فيهم. That's a clear sound. The third one, the gym. This optional stop. When it appears after a word, the reciter can decide to stop or not. It's on you. So if you want to stop on this, you can stop. If you don't want to stop, you can continue. There's nothing wrong with that. نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم. ما شاء الله. And you can say نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم. Am I clear? So now let's go to the next one. We have the what? We have the sila sound. What is, the sila sound is what? The what? Discourage stop. The sila. When it appears after a word, the reciter is encouraged to continue. If you find the sila sound, discourage means. When you find the sila sound, it's what? It's very encouraged that you continue without taking a breath, that you don't stop. For stopping could complicate the meaning and understanding of what? Of that particular word. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُوَ وَإِن يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. It's discouraged to what? To stop. So when you find the sila sound, إِلَّا هُوَ وَإِن يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ, you can stop. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُوَ وَإِن يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. And you have the lam sound. You have the la. Prohibited stop. When it appears after a word, the reciter must continue without taking a breath. For stopping on such a verse will change the meaning of the verse. The reciter stop on that portion, the recitation was what? It must be repeated. So this prohibited stop. It's forbidden for you to stop on it. الذين تتوفاهم الملائكة طيبين يقولون سلام عليكم. You must not stop on طيبين. Forbidden, haram. You must not do that. طيبين يقولون سلام عليكم. When you see la, do not stop. And then we have the sin. It's called what? Sakta, or recommended stop. When it appears after a word, the reciter is encouraged to stop momentarily without taking a breath, and continuing so would lose the rhetoric effect of the verse. Okay, so because of the effect of the verse, that's why what? That's why we have this there. And it's not really common. You find this in a handful of verses. And look at this in Surah Al-Qiyamah. وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقَ وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقَ. Because of what? Because of the sin. By stopping on what? Stopping on man. And the final sign is what? The selectable stop. They always appear in pairs. When they appear around the set of words, the reciter may momentarily stop, take a breath at either one of the two, but not both. So when you find this sign, I can either stop at la roib or fi. So these two, what they mean is you should stop at either, but you must not stop at both. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. That's one way to do it. The other way. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So that will be the end of the stop sign. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Any question on Imala or like stop signs? Any question on Imala or the stop sign? Unmute your microphone, please. You guys should unmute your microphone and talk.
No.
I went out. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking. I said, did anyone have any question? Do you
No.
guys hear my question? When I was asking you, like, did anyone have any question?
Yeah.
Oh, you heard it. Okay. I don't know what happened. So, like, any question?
No.
No questions. Right? Should we take um Ishmam without doing what's the name again? Rome. Or should we take Ishmam on the face value, like on the face value of it, of La Ta'manna, or should take it from like the basics of it?
Basics.
Did you watch the video I sent?
Yeah.
Okay, you watched it. Did you watch everything?
No, but I watched the Lata Manna place that they said it's from two different words. And
Okay.
there's actually Lata Manuna.
Before this video, have you heard of Rom before?
No, never.
No heard of. Is it necessary? But most people can actually recite the Quran. Like what I'm trying to build is not like I don't want to build any kind of complication in this course. I just want to build such that people can recite all the major parts of the Quran. Let me just teach Ishmam. I don't want it to make it complicated. Let me just teach Ishmam. Let me teach it now. Bismillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa ba'd. Al-Ishmam. This is a tajud ruling that can only be observed by someone looking at the mouth of the reciter. One can't learn it by listening or by seeing the symbol in the Quran. It appears only once in the Quran, and it's in Surah Yusuf, verse 11. So, what is Ishmam? Ishmam is, how do I put it? A kind of way of reciting, such that you position your mouth like as if you are pronouncing Dhamma. For me, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to go in details explaining Ishmam really deep. I'm just going to make sure that whenever you get to this part of the Quran, you can recite it correctly. So to recite Ishmam, I'm going to recite this particular verse and explain how it can be recited. قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف. So what you're going to do is you're going to pronounce ta'manna in sound, but you're going to position your mouth like you pronounce ta'manunna. So it means while you are on the noon, ta'man, you start your gunna, then you position your mouth like someone that is pronouncing dhamma. Then you bring your mouth back while you are still pronouncing your gunna. Then you continue your recitation. La ta'manna, la ta'manna. So I'm positioning my mouth like I'm saying ta'manunna, but in reality, I'm pronouncing ta'manna. So Ishmam is something that can only be observed by looking at what? the mouth of the reciter. And this is even one of the clear evidences that the Quran is an audio book. It was a book that was what? That was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and not like a written book. قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف. And that will be the end of Ishmael. So there's something they call Rom. It's like you have sukun mahdo, like Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. I don't need to explain Rom. I don't need to explain. You guys should watch that video, then we'll discuss it. I don't need to explain it. And the goal of this course is not to like give like complicated like or like going in depth in tajweed. The goal of this course is what? To just help people recite the Quran correctly. And I think we've achieved that by talking about every rule, every concept. That if you take all of these things into account and try to pronounce them correctly, you recite the Quran correctly. But at the same time, sorry, like I've said in previous episodes of this, that the smear cannot be replaced. You still need someone to listen to you and actually correct it, and actually correct. Say, no, your drum is not correct. Your drum is not correct till you've pronounced it correctly. Oh, no, your ifhar is not correct. Your ifhar is not correct till you've pronounced it correctly. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this an hujjah for us and not against us. Allahumma alimna ma yanfa'una wa anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilman wa fahman. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Any questions?
No.
Okay, I'll ask you one question and we'll go. How did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to drink water?
In 3 gulps.
In 3 cups. And what does it do after every 3 cups?
I'm not too sure, but I think you rest a little bit before taking the next 3 gulps.
That's the assignment for next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bye.